in the sky at the beach.
What was that? What's that sound? Where? It's aliens and they're living in your town. Damn. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town. Are you scared of aliens?
Hello, my sweet weirdos. How the hell's everybody doing? It's very Halloweeny out in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. The weather is creepy. Gang, how are you?
It's wispy rain. It's that just light dustings of rain.
It's the kind of weather that really goes nicely and paired up with what, Denny's? A 9.5 foot of badass werewolf.
Yes, I saw it as I came down the street. It looks great.
So Vicky, and thank you, by the way. It's very kind of you.
It's got a lot of curb appeal.
I appreciate the compliments on my 9.5 foot werewolf. Vicky, how the hell are you doing? You ready to do some ghost talk?
Always ready.
When you walked in today, you walked over to what you discovered last week was a vortex, correct?
Correct.
What's going on with Vicky's voice?
Is your knobs or the on the up position?
Check.
All the way up. All the way up.
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Now
There
I'm
we
getting.
go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Getting some boominess.
Now I have to whisper.
All right, I got you back. Here we go.
What kind of, so the vortex you felt.
Oh yeah, it's still here.
Now, explain to the good people what a vortex is in layman's terms.
In layman's terms, it's an open doorway between this world and the next.
Now, were you feeling a different kind of energy tonight than you were last week?
Well, the only thing, I felt a lot of anxiety. I felt a lot of, I was very anxious, and I was also poked in my side, which didn't happen before. And I don't think it was the female, because, you know, I made my prediction on what I think she's going to do at some point. It wasn't that. It was like a poke in my side, like, hey, lady.
Beckett, when you've been here, have you ever felt anything like that, a poking that's not me?
I can't say I have, but I, being the skeptic, will say that I don't have the abilities, and I think that I'm a little tone deaf. Anyone that's heard me sing might agree with that anyways, but tone deaf, I mean in terms of the paranormal, that even being the resident skeptic with Denny's in some cases, I think that I give it a... because that audio, like I said last time when you guys played it, was the clearest audio I've ever heard.
Do we have that audio, Denny's?
I'll look for it.
I believe I sent it to you. It's the singing girl. If we could, I'd like to play that.
So
a clip of
I'm
it.
saying no on the poking, but I'm saying that I acknowledge, based on my experience and what I've learned from you guys and Vicky, that that doesn't make me discredit it, if that makes sense.
Well, the beauty of the poking is that it doesn't matter whether you believe or not. If they have enough energy to be able to do that, you're going to feel it whether you're a skeptic or not.
Okay.
You may find an excuse for it that's not paranormal, but you're going to feel it.
I may hang around a little later tonight.
You always do.
I know.
We kind of tear it up on a Thursday usually.
We do.
Thursday is the
It's
new
Thirsty
Friday.
Thursday.
I go in on a Friday very hungover.
That used to be college night.
Yeah, you're right.
Thursdays. Here, I'm going to the clip here.
Now this is the clip where I think it's a woman. Wouldn't you say this is the same woman that the old timey woman singing?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Should be here.
You hear a little bit there. Hello?
I try to turn it down real quick when yours comes on.
Hello? A lot of people are creeped out by that. I find it kind of peaceful.
I find it soothing. I mentioned this last time you guys played it. I'm like, it feels kind of pleasant.
You're in your bedroom, Beckett, and you hear that come out of your closet. Are you a little bitch, or are you bitch boy Beckett, and kind of just roll with it, or are you loving it?
So this is going to be of no surprise to you guys, but if there was anything that I felt that my safety was at risk, I'd freak out. I'd probably leave the house. I'd call Vicky. I'm like, we need to do an extermination, a cleansing, whatever. And I would go stay at your house, a friend's house, a hotel. I'm out. I'm out of the house. It will freak me out. Whether I'm a skeptic or not, I don't want to play with it.
You don't even mess with it.
That said, and what might not surprise you, if I felt like it was a female and it was pleasant, I think I might go more Jaybird on this, and I might try to push it a little bit and see what happens.
Like closer to the sun. I like it.
Yeah.
Vicky, but because of what you do, your paranormal activity stuff, and with your psychic medium stuff, people want to know this and ask Vicky: does Vicky's family believe in what she believes in, or is there ever any pushback?
Well, there was a pushback from my mom as far as the psychic medium side. She always encouraged, never had a problem with me being a paranormal investigator. She herself would tell, her particular ghost story, and she had an aunt who had ability. And, growing up, we always heard the stories about, Aunt Rosie. Her pushback was for the psychic medium because she was only paying attention to the Old Testament and not paying attention to the New Testament. And
The reboot?
yeah, the reboot. And so there was pushback. And I remember I have a dear friend who wrote my mom a letter. And in that letter, she said, I know that you don't believe, and I know that you have, a healthy, maybe not really fear, but you really want to reserve judgment on what she does because she's helped me so much, and you think that sometimes what she does isn't of God, but I can tell you that since I've known Vicky, I actually believe in God more than I ever did.
What about your kids? Do your kids ever go?
Oh, my kids are in it. Yeah.
My mom's a Ghostbuster. This is such a drag. Or they're like, oh, mom's a Ghostbuster. This is awesome.
My older son, he actually was involved in the beginning when I was on Florida Ghost Team. In fact, there was an article written about us, and my son's in that article.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Don't you love that as a mom?
Yeah, but he doesn't. He has a friend, as a matter of fact, and somehow they got into the conversation about the weird and whatever, because the guy goes, hey, I watched this podcast, Weird and Whatever, and he goes, yeah, that's my mom. He's like, you're shitting me. That was your mom. That's your mom?
How
But
random.
he hadn't advertised that, I do. And actually, a lot of his friends watch the show. They're big fans.
All
My
right.
son doesn't, but they do. Lindsley, of course, is in it. She is on my team. She's my EVP expert above everything else.
But do you ever find yourself using your psychic powers or your gift as a mother, interfering with any of what they do? Go, guys, I have a bad feeling you shouldn't do that tonight. My psychic ability's telling me that.
No, if I were to have like a big, huge sign that they shouldn't do something, I would say, I don't read for family and friends that I'm too close to because I have a vested interest in whatever the outcome would be. So I will play what my daughter and I call the 2-second game, and she'll ask me your psychic opinion, and she'll say, I'm going to ask you a question. I actually answer her yes or no before she asks the question so that it's more true to what's flying off of my ability rather than, me being in the equation.
Denny's, you're hearing, stories of psychic abilities, mother-daughter thoughts.
I think it's great bonding time. I think it's all. No, it's all very interesting. I mean, I soak up the information.
You ever have any premonitions, Denny's?
I don't.
Not even a feeling of something might happen and something like that sort of does?
Never to a Final Destination or any sort of razzle-dazzle story.
Not even at that level of drama. Maybe you were thinking about a kangaroo and it want to hop by minutes later. I mean, that's a weird example.
I hear you. No, I rarely ever come across those type of things. I mean, maybe I'm just blind to them. I don't recognize them.
You think it's horseshit, don't you?
Oh, I don't experience them personally. I don't get the deja vu ever. I never think, oh, what if a red bus went by and then one comes by? I never get that. I never do that. It's never worked for me.
We get a lot of emails about deja vu. A lot of kids going through it. The parents that say, my kids got deja vu bad. And I had it bad as a kid too. And I think we've talked about that, Vicky. Maybe that goes away as you're an adult.
Yeah, I mean, I had it a lot as a kid too. I very seldom have it. And if it's really premonitions, it makes sense because when you're younger, you have more psychic ability.
Man, deja vu is such a weird thing. I still get it as an adult. And for about 3 seconds, something is just so familiar, but you feel like you've never been there. It's odd, Beckett.
I get deja vu. I get deja vu, like creepy deja vu. And what I find is when I'm living more clean, like say I'm going through a cleanse, I'm not drinking.
Boring.
I know.
You got the marathon coming up?
Yeah.
You got a drink? Are you drinking a beer right now?
I'm having a beer with you right now. Yeah.
But you're, all right,
Yeah.
fuck, birds the bad influence.
I'm gonna blame everything on you. Everyone needs a scapegoat.
Go for it.
But when I go through a phase where I'm not drinking or whatever, it's way more vivid, including my dreams, including deja vu, everything. It's interesting how that happens. I actually, and I should just put it out there, just in the small hopeful possibility I'm right. I had one yesterday that cancer is going to be cured in the next 4 years. I explained it to my friends yesterday. I said I had this
have this vision,
this weird vision. The government's done some moonshot things as it relates to cancer research, and one can only hope that I'm correct. And it's probably, unfortunately, not true. But just in case it is, I wanted to say that on the podcast.
Put it on record.
Just put it on record, because no one will believe me that I said it or called it 3-4 years from now.
All right, I'm going to start throwing some shit out there. All right, 40 years, we're going to get alien life. And in 20, we're going to have flying food.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I like it, Beckett.
Yeah.
I like these theories.
And I'm the skeptic, right? That's how I've been labeled with Denny's. But deja vu, dreaming, premonitions, I can never sense poking, kind of things like that. But those things I have experienced.
You're like that one politician that says they're with the one party, but all they do is talk about the other party's headlines. You ain't no skeptic no more, dog. You're in it. You're in it. You keep on saying you're a skeptic, but you ain't a skeptic.
It's true, and I appreciate that. And the only thing I can say, it's honest. It's candid. It's really how I feel. I feel like some people play that card, and for me, that card is honest. It's an honest card, because I like to keep an open mind. And what I tell people, and you guys have probably heard me use this analogy before, up to 30 years old, I made fun of vegetarians. I made fun of them. I thought it was I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. Not possible. My Ironman coach had me go, and then I got presented, not because all of a sudden I became a bigger animal lover. I've always been one of those. All of a sudden, what I made a decision consciously 3 times a day to put in my mouth and my body, I had facts and experiences that changed my position. So I'm a person that's not a flip-flopper. Like, I believe in what I believe in because of reasons that I believe in those things. But I'm also not a person that will be presented, whatever we're talking about, ghost, anything, and say and be presented with proof, facts that won't change my mind.
Okay, so we heard from the fake skeptic. Let's talk about the real skeptic. Denny's counterpoint.
Well, it's funny that Beckett experiences some things that you could say are cosmically driven, right? Deja vu or premonitions. But he doesn't experience anything paranormal. It's just weird that you can have some experiences.
Some subset of the weird or the unknown.
You can consider that some sort of mysticism, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like being able to envision something that's going to happen.
I would say anything that you can't really explain and it's not of the norm. Along those lines, I would put in that category. I have a feeling about my sister and something's terrible and blah blah blah, and then I find out something bad happens to her within that time frame. Yeah. I do think that might be nature.
Yeah,
sometimes why is that such an odd concept to believe that you could possibly have some kind of feeling from somebody that you're close with, just because we haven't legit discovered that and proven it doesn't mean it's not possible.
That's Absolutely. Right. And that's why I always say, I think people tend to, because I think it's a little lazy intellectually, but people like to always put things and think of things binary, right? It's whether it's politically or it's our opinion, it's either all of this or it's all of this. And I was like, well, isn't it a chance that it's a balance, or not even a balance? Maybe it's 60-40, maybe it's 70-30, like there's nuance in it, right?
I would say everything's a gray area.
Everything. Every single situation
has a giant flaw.
It has its own set of unique circumstances. Yeah. Even if it's ordering a sandwich, there's things that lined up that were not there before the other time you got a sandwich. Even on that basic level, there's so many different sets of circumstances we don't ever really think about.
Yeah, and it's 100% the case. And it's not that paranormal doesn't exist, or it does enthusiastically exist. There could be a balance and be like, listen, like, I have certain experiences, and because I don't have gifts and abilities, but I trust and have grown to know you guys and Vicky, and it's brought me a little bit more to center on the idea, and at the very least open my mind. So that's where I kind of fall in, and I think it's healthy to, even though you know you're passionate and emphatic on something, an opinion, that you still are presented and have an open mind about things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Vicky, here's another question for you on the Ask Vicky segment. What's the best way to communicate with the dead if you're trying to get a response from them? We get that question a lot too. How someone just lost their mother and they want to reach out and have a psychic moment with them, and believe me, I've tried to do that with the dead. It doesn't always work. Is there something you can do specifically to zone in on that and to give you a better shot?
Well, to give you a better shot of actually hearing someone and hearing their voice, you would need to use a recorder. However, you shouldn't do that in your home. So, step outside your home if you really want to communicate with a loved one and see. Do not use a Ouija board or anything like that, because it's not your loved one that's going to answer through that.
It's almost like you just used your psychic abilities.
I might be a little psychic.
Because the next question, which is going to lead into an email of calling me, you, just us out about the whole Ouija situation. I'm lying, and they're calling you out about the Ouija situation. But it says, "What's up with Vicky and her hatred for the Ouija board?" That's the title. And then here's the email. Vicky, first off, I love you on the podcast. I too am a psychic medium and wanted to see why you're so against Ouija boards. It's like anything in life. You can use it for bad or you can use it for good. I also think people give it too much credit when it comes to the Ouija board. As you know, spirit doesn't need a Ouija board to wreak havoc on someone's life. The Ouija board is just an instrument some people use. I'm just not a fan of demonizing something just simply because you don't think it's right. Like I said, I love you on the podcast. Want to just stick up for Ouija board practices. That would be Monica.
Well, Monica, you may be a psychic medium, but how many years have you been a paranormal investigator?
And we got a psychic off.
Well, no, it's that I'm coming from the perspective of both. I am a paranormal investigator first, and then a psychic medium, because I was doing paranormal investigating long before I knew I was a psychic medium. There's documented case after case after case involving Ouija boards. Does that mean that everybody who uses it's going to have a negative experience? No. It means the people that use it and become obsessed with it, those are the ones that are going to get a lower level energy talking to them through the board. And they're the ones that's like, kind of like if you have ants in your house and we put out a Twinkie, they're going to come running.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But if you have a Beckett, he's not going to go for the Twinkie. He's a higher order, right? The ants are going to. He's a higher order. We got to get the broccoli for him, okay? But
I like the analogy.
lower level are going to go for it because it's an easy way for them to interact.
Let me use this analogy and see if it's wrong or right. If you eat cookies, 9 cookies in an hour on a Sunday, you're not really going to fuck up too much of your life. One day, just fucking around with some cookies, you go just crazy hog wild. You don't do that on Monday, you don't do that on Tuesday. But if you do it on Monday, if you do it on Tuesday, you do it on Thursday, it's going to start to catch up to you. Is the Ouija board the same way, where you can eat that cookie, so to speak, every now and then for some fun, for some entertainment, and it's not going to be that big of a deal?
Just depends on who is going to use that board. Depends on who's going to come through when you're using that board. That's the difference, is that you don't know. And you are specifically calling something to manipulate an object that is using your energy. Even like there's a lot of people who use pendulums. And I have always been advised to not have the chain directly touch your finger. You should have a piece of string and then the chain be on the string so that there's a separation between your energy and the entity that is using the pendulum.
We have a lot of non-believers who listen to the podcast, and it's I would say it's probably half and half, with even just ghost or God or spirit or anything like that. They want us to do Ouija stuff on the air.
They chant for it.
They want it. Now, Denny's, you are the real skeptic here. Do you really think a Ouija board has got all this power that people speak of? Personally.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it do much. I've been at a couple parties where we had one, but it could be the environment.
What are you
It's
running
so
for office here?
chaotic. I'm just saying. I haven't experienced anything, but I mean, we could have let so many demons in and just didn't even know and effed up somebody's life.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking what you personally think.
I personally have not had any issues or had anything happen with the Ouija boards, but I mean, again, like I said, it was just me. It was at a party a few times.
It's just me and you smoking. No one's around. Denny's, you believe in Ouija boards?
But I don't think they do. I haven't had any experience with them doing anything.
I think you really have to
unfortunately.
trust the people you're doing it with, because the times I did it when I was younger, you're always like, are you moving it? Am
That's what
I
I'm saying.
moving
Maybe-
it?
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
too.
Maybe
yeah.
a lot of it's I did it in my youth. you
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
And I don't necessarily worry about demons much, so I guess maybe the fear is pretty low for me on
Now
that.
that's what I want to ask you, Vicky. What if you're a person that is like a Denny's and you go, it's a board game. My fear is so non-existent when it comes to this shit. Is that harder to get through to a guy like that?
No, not if something really wants to get through. I mean, it's really up to whoever is going to come through on the board. And see, I'm one of those people, I definitely do not cry demon a lot. In fact, I've been on investigations with people who are demonologists, and they have called things demonic, and I'm like, no, that was just a disgruntled nature spirit.
That's
like,
their business right there. Like,
that-
that's a demon.
no, that dude was just like upset, you know?
They're justifying their paycheck, Vicky.
They,
Yeah.
they label everything demon.
Because you have to realize
well, then the demon business.
right. You have to realize that the chance of coming across something truly demonic is like winning the lottery twice in 1 year. So it's very rare. But that doesn't mean you don't have negative human spirits that are going to play with you, that are going to wreak havoc in your life, that are going to do things. All I know is that there is documented case after case after case where people have, and sometimes it doesn't happen right away. It's kind of like being marked, like you were exposed to a germ, but it takes a little while for you to actually get sick. Sometimes that's the way it happens, a little time delayed.
I love it. It's a very good. Thank you for answering that. The Ouija board's very controversial. There's some people that go, "Oh my gosh, don't even fuck with it, bird," and then half the audience goes, "You better fuck with it."
You can probably make your own, right? Or-
Oh, yeah,
and
you
you
can.
can use anything.
Yeah,
as
it has
a
nothing
Ouija.
to do with, buying it.
That
Milton
one's
Bradley or
that one's
anything like
just
that.
already put into the correct shape and
Some
everything.
hard-hitting feedback from our audience. We've got a Jen Doer.
Oh, she's the worst.
Jen Doer in the chat room says, "Damn Denny's dancing around giving a straight answer. What's that all about?" And I got to agree with Mrs. Doer.
Get
Really,
outta here.
really, he's running for office back here.
I like
it.
I like it.
I just haven't had many experiences.
Well, Vicky, that was great. That was awesome. Great round of Ask Vicky. The one thing I do want to talk to y'all about, I got a long email, so I'm going to be paraphrasing. I'm just going to bring it up as a topic. It's somebody who is going through some big-time depression, and they realized something about their depression. They realized that when they found themselves inspired by whatever it was, whether it was a song or music, their depression really did drastically lower, and they were more consumed with whatever that task was of inspiration. For example, for me, if I want to learn a song on the guitar and I get so caught up in that, I'm inspired to do that. I'm not thinking about I'm not really in that moment
Oh, yeah.
of anxiety or whatever that could be of a low mood. You're really helps you to be in the now when you are living in inspiration. At least that's how I feel. But I do want to get y'all's opinion because they really credit consciously trying to be inspired. Because there's times where I think we wake up in bad moods or an autopilot or just a low mood, and that can lead to other more bad moods. And then all of a sudden you're in a funk. And I think if you practice trying to become inspired, I think you might see a higher mood elevation. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, I find it's interesting. Like, I always find it interesting learning about artists or people that are creatives like Ernest Hemingway, right? And it seems like a lot of people that are creative and artistic, it's the fear and the sadness that gives them the most inspiration. Like, the universe is interesting how it always tries to balance itself out. And so much so that I've heard of artists putting themselves in a negative situation because it helps them with their inspiration. And I don't know it to be a fact, but just based on observations and heuristics, some of my favorite, for example, hip hop artists, when they're coming up and they're on food stamps, they're putting out 3-4 albums. And then when life gets smoothed out for them a little bit, at least from the outside, all of a sudden you're like, where's Nelly been? Nelly was putting out, Nelly was putting out albums left and right. Now he's dubbing on a country song every once in a blue moon,
I would credit Nelly of doing a great move in his career. He's still relevant at his age to be in the pop music world or country world. I mean, it's all. Look, call it pop, call it country. At the end of the day, it's just pizza, baby.
Nah, he's great.
Yeah, he reinvented himself. Don't you dare talk shit about me.
But to your
country grammar, dog.
to your point and my point, the whole vibe shifted, right? The whole vibe, like he was having rap battles. He had a song called Number One because another rapper was dissing him as he's coming out. He's singing with his boys that came from nothing in St. Louis and all this other stuff. And I just find it interesting that and I will say this: some of the most interesting people I know and some of the most successful people I know had a tough childhood. The people that had the silver spoon, they haven't done anything with their life. And not to say that's a hard and fast rule. I just find that, if I ran a statistical analysis, it's correlated where the people that have had struggle in their life always, or more as a group per se and probability, end up to be more successful. And I just find it interesting. So, I think maybe I've digressed from your point, but I think that.
What do you mean, Nelly?
I think that when you have strife and whatever, that actually, if you know how to use it that way, that could be rocket fuel in your inspiration and motivation.
Absolutely.
Well, I think it's pretty easy to get beat down mentally or spiritually, whatever you want to call it. If you go out into the world, there's a billion things that can get you down. And for some people, they're built as Tommy Tough shit. Yeah. They're able to go, fuck it, yeah. I can deal with anything. But there's other people that do got to work a little bit harder to elevate their mood, to be a little bit happier. And my suggestion, because when I read that email, it resonated with me because I just learned in my past, if I have been in a low mood or struggling with something mentally, when I do get inspired by whatever it is, it could be a recipe, it could be a song, it could be a movie. Cobra Kai inspired me. Right after Chewie died, it made me feel better. It inspired me to not be so fucking sad. It made me look at things with a different perspective. Whatever your Cobra Kai or your new song you want to learn is, I do think that consciously you have to maybe put that down as if it's flossing your teeth. You go, you know what, man? It's noon. I'm kind of in a pissy mood. Let me at least remember, I like that one song. Let me chill out and get inspired by that. Or let me put that one clip on that makes me feel a little better. I don't think we do that enough as a species. I think we ride moods out a little too long when we could do a better job of trying to inspire ourselves.
Yeah, I think it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy as you feel a little down, and you could go two ways with that, right? Like you can use it as inspiration, or you could use down to feel more down. Right?
What are your thoughts, Vicky?
My theory is that there's two kinds of depression. There's true clinical depression, which is a chemical imbalance, and there's also pity party depression, what I call. Well, the best thing for both of them is actually inspiration, because if you have clinical depression, the thing that you need to do the most is to move and to do something and to take action. But a lot of people who are clinically depressed, they don't even want to leave their house. So if you can get inspired and you can move, it's going to help your body chemistry. Same thing if it's pity party. You get into something, you want to do something, you want to do it. You are going to get up, you're going to move, and you're going to forget that you're depressed.
Even the smallest thing of getting up and going out for a walk can be a mood game changer.
Oh, it changes your whole...
It really does. I mean, what do you think, Denny's? Inspiration? Do you look for inspiration? Do you consciously look for inspiration?
It's weird. Sometimes when you're not looking is when you find things, and sometimes when you're looking, you find things. I mean, it can happen at any point. Yeah. But lately, I haven't been looking. I found a few things that I'm really into, and I kind of been honing in on those, you know. It is good, though, because whenever you find a song that you like or something to look forward to, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think humans, we hyper-focus on things. So if it's something bad happening, we hyper-focus on that. It puts us in a negative mood. We get bad, and we focus on it until we find something new to focus on, which is inspiration, a new whatever recipe. It could be anything.
I think a concept, too, for some people, including myself, a mood is like the weather. It doesn't last forever. You know, a shitty mood, you will be in a less shittier mood eventually. And I think sometimes you have to remind yourself that, you know, a mood doesn't last forever. The storm doesn't stay there forever. I'm not saying there's not some long storms and some hard storms and some hurricanes, but there is a break. There's a break, Denny's. There's a sunshine.
Yeah, there is.
What's the old cliche? It's darkest before the dawn.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Hit him with another cliche.
Yeah. Just keep going back.
Well, cliche off. All right, good stuff. I think we covered the inspiration topic very nicely. Very good. With that said, it might be time for some
Denny's
Random facts.
Oh, sweet Denny's. He does a great job just hunting, searching for the best random facts ever. Vicky, our educator, she grades them. If she loves it, she gives them an A. If she hates it, she's been giving out some Fs.
Yeah, man, she'll throw rocks.
You got an F, right?
I think I'm sure. Yeah.
If you
I don't
haven't,
remember. I don't
if
remember.
you
Today
haven't-
may be the day, though, because there was a food fight in the cafeteria today, so you better watch it.
Oh.
Don't fuck this up,
Somebody
Josh.
throwing pudding. It's gotta
Mashed
be-
potatoes.
Oh, it's
Hit the
rough.
ceiling.
Anything of that type of viscosity. All right, let's move on.
Look, this is free. Take your time.
Yes.
Yeah, did you drink as much? Sorry, see, look, I'm giving
Yes,
Beckett Jameson.
Beckett. Thank
you
If you're
very
just at home listening, I just passed Beckett some Jameson.
Pass the bottle.
So this is why it's hard to have one person that runs everything, because in 1644, English statesman Oliver Cromwell banned the eating of pie. He declared it a pagan form of pleasure. So for 16 years, pie eating and making went underground until the Restoration, when leaders lifted the ban in 1660.
It's like warm apple pie.
16 years, pie illegal.
I can't tell if Vicky's shaking her head at Denny's fact or Beckett's shitty comment. Both.
It's a movie reference.
Dicky Vicky.
She doesn't know where to begin.
Almost.
I couldn't
C for
believe-
the crust on that pie.
All right, I'll
Damn.
take a C.
All right.
16 years. What would you think if that law got enacted?
16 years. 16 years.
No eating pie for 16 years.
You know, I'm always going to eat pie. That sounded terrible.
So what do you think of this? America's National School Lunch Program of 1946 was due to World War II. The government realized that by giving children free meals, they would have healthier people to draft from in later wars. That's why that whole thing was put into place.
Breeding an army.
Yeah, they noticed that a lot of the early recruits were malnourished and had to catch up to some of the other recruits. So they go, if we just feed them and get them healthy early, then we can recruit them right away.
When did we start thinking mashed potatoes and bread and cheese and all that shit on that pyramid chart was healthy?
Square white bread pizza, French fries, and chocolate milk.
Was that the 70s and 80s? That was my childhood.
That was my
So
childhood.
I got
me
so many
too.
fucking weight issues.
Yeah, me
because they
too.
told me, I'll eat pizza, Bert. It's great for you.
The food pyramid that they totally scrapped and laugh at now, they totally like ingrain that into our head, pun intended. The bottom of the pyramid was everything they tell you do not eat right now.
Oh, they sent the chart home. My mom's like, see, I told you, cheese is very healthy for you. All right, let's eat some cheese. Vicky, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to give it a D because it had the word cafeteria in it
Yeah, you had a
after
food
I
fight.
warned you about the food fight
You're
today.
right.
Oh.
I deserved it.
Dog, you might go to summer school.
D
you
for
gotta,
dessert.
You got to get that grade point average.
I'll
up.
be like Chainsaw in summer school. That's such a random reference.
Does anybody in the chat room know Chainsaw from summer school? Vicky does. I know
Oh
Ponton
yeah,
does.
we've talked about it before. So what do you guys think about this? Hollywood, originally you would think it started in New York. That's where everything seemed to start off. So Hollywood moved from New York to Los Angeles to escape Edison's patents. Thomas Edison had patents over 1,000 different things, even stuff that wasn't invented yet, and kind of just the concepts of high-end technologies for making movies. And they thought it would be easier to leave to a place where the patent people haven't talked to these patent people, and they could repatent it before he could get over there.
Yeah.
And that's why they moved out to the west. That and the fact that you get 300 days of no rain. But they were trying to escape the patents of old Thomas Edison, who actually was proven to have stolen tons of things.
No, he's a dick.
Damn. damn, Edison was a fucking fake.
He stole a lot of patents, including what they say the light bulb.
What the fuck?
I know, like his
Hang on.
biggest one was like considered theft.
He's not to say he wasn't a smart guy.
Absolutely did a bunch of stuff.
He
too.
was more of a businessman than an inventor, in a lot of people's opinion. And he wrangled the government and powerful people like J.P. Morgan, and he got all of the funding. Do you know who his number one apprentice was that helped him get pretty much everything he did? Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was his main guy.
That was a lot of patents stolen.
A lot
too.
of things he didn't pay. Nikola Tesla basically ended up ashamed, embarrassed, never saw anything come to fruition. There was an AC/DC war where Tesla ended up being correct. Edison was wrong. And they
alternate direct current.
So Westinghouse,
not the band Denny's.
Westinghouse and Nikola basically got the contract over Edison for the Chicago World Fair. They lit up the whole thing, which blew everyone's mind. And he basically screwed Nikola with J.P. Morgan horribly. And Edison would electrocute horses in public to try to propaganda that what Nikola was trying to do in the current wars, is what they call it, was incorrect. Turns out Nikola, retrospectively, was correct and Edison was wrong.
And he killed an elephant. He electrocuted it publicly.
Yeah. Horrible.
To show how powerful electricity
Horrible
was.
person.
Wow,
yeah,
so
pretty messed up.
all right.
Clearly, Beckett likes Edison, or likes the knowledge of Edison.
I like Nikola. I feel real bad for him. I saw a documentary and a play on him, and they tell the story, a factual basis, and I was like, wow, this guy got screwed.
Dude. These in the Prestige portrayed by the
Edison's done. I'm canceling on Twitter today. Hashtag cancel Edison.
There you go.
But yeah, that's the reason Hollywood went and bailed from New York, because it was going to be in New York.
Does everybody know? Is this common knowledge? Does everyone know Edison's such a dick face?
I think it's made its rounds on the internet that he's kind of a jerk. Yeah.
So you're calling me dumb, Denny?
No, I don't know if you saw it. I mean, ask the chat room. Does everybody know about Edison?
Oh, we know it.
They're like, come on, Bird.
Come on, Bird.
Catch up.
This is so fucking common knowledge.
Okay, well, that was definitely an A, and the A stands for Edison was an asshole.
No
There you
shit.
go.
Wow.
He's
So
an
be
arse.
prepared tomorrow when I call you in for what's on my mind. We're going over Edison again tomorrow. We're canceling Edison again tomorrow.
There you go.
The
Terrible.
kids got to know.
You guys terrible.
They have an Edison museum in Fort Myers.
So,
I've
It
been
is
there.
his house.
We should go and spray paint.
do
it.
we
all
need to
alive.
cancel the fucking
I think so.
Edison house?
I think so. Let's turn the lights
Don't
off.
you love when people try to cancel dead people? I think it's so.
Like, oh,
I think it's
whatever.
so funny.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? The South African Railway once employed a baboon. The guy who worked there had just lost his legs in an accident, and he needed mobility. He saw a baboon that was trained pulling a cart. So he thought, well, if I buy this baboon, I can get pulled around. So he was the main conductor guy. He got pulled around, and the baboon just started watching him work and started mimicking his movements. And over the years, it became a very good conductor. He would pull the tracks to change them. He never, ever made a single mistake. The reason they tested it out was some rich guy was riding the train, and he saw the baboon doing it, and he got all mad that a baboon, he called it a beast, was doing a man's job. So he was going to cancel the baboon. And the guy goes, dude, the baboon crushes it. So they put him to the test. They did a whole week, and he never made one mistake.
Fantastic.
So they gave him what they would pay him in beer and a coin where he'd buy food daily.
The baboon.
Yeah, from 1881 to 1890, he was employed there until he died.
The fact that
you could do that shit in 1800.
the fact that
Yes, the guy had no legs either.
the fact that the baboon was satisfied getting paid in beer just tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, well, a
that
bottle of beer.
baboon.
But do we really know if the baboon was satisfied with just the beer?
They said he would drink it. They named him like One-Eyed Jack.
I'm not saying he didn't like the beer. I'm not saying he didn't get the buzz on. I'm saying, but was he really satisfied with this fucking deal he walked into? The baboon.
They said he loved it.
The humans said.
Yeah,
that.
you're right. You're
that's-
right. And it's
yeah.
the 1800s. I'm sure.
Yeah,
animals
18.
were-
I'm sure they. Yeah, and women don't need to vote.
There wasn't enough of them to unionize. Like, they had no say.
I mean, 1800s. I think we can go.
So-
behavior's not really the.
Yeah.
This is a separate fact, but I'm gonna bring it up because we're talking about the mistreating of animals.
Baboon fact, Vicky.
A.
That was.
Ooh.
You know I love baboon
Look him up.
facts.
It's awesome. It's the South African railway baboon. There's a whole Wikipedia about him. It's awesome, and they
love
got
it.
photographs.
Are those the multicolored nose things? Are those?
Those are the red asses, dog.
Yeah,
Red
they-
asses.
They got that.
Them big old just fucking
Badonka.
boom. Yep.
Yeah.
But he was really helpful because he pulled everyone around. He was great. Anyway, so this is insane to me. This is
you want
just
to talk about baboon ass anymore?
this is how insane humans are. So back in the 17th and 18th centuries, there was a popular European sport that the elites would play called fox tossing, where they would toss foxes into the air as high as they could. Using here, so I'm gonna pass around my phone so you can see. I'm gonna
Why are
pull
you
it
giving me all these fucking sad animal facts,
up.
dog?
Dude, you gotta look at the photos.
Oh my god.
I'm pulling it up.
Oh, this is a real thing. This really happened.
I got it up for the good people now. So if you're watching on the KVJ TV here,
Humans are such dicks.
so they would use
such dicks.
what looks like giant flags, and they put the fox in it and toss it in the air. How crazy is that,
It's
right?
not crazy. It's fucking insane.
Terrible,
It's
right?
awful,
Oh, I
horrible.
think it's awful.
So how? What was the outcome of it? Like, what was the purpose?
They would just do it and then go back in the house and drink, party.
Just to fuck with the
They
foxes,
would
Vicky.
dude, yeah, the foxes. I'm sure were terrified. I'm sure some of them got hurt. It's
Horrible.
terrible.
Oh, in the 1800 foxes, they definitely got hurt.
This is 17th century.
1700 fox, even worse.
Yeah, it's like so early on. Yeah.
That is so
Terrible.
figgity fucked up, man.
I can only imagine.
Daddy.
I'm bringing awareness to it because I just can't believe that's real.
You're making me feel bad, which I think you're doing your job. You're getting emotion. I like that. Vicky.
Oh God, it's a horrible fact
It's
though.
absolutely
But
terrible.
I mean, I appreciate his effort, so it's an A.
I feel like that's a fact people are going to remember. They go,
Yeah.
can you believe they used to fucking throw foxes up in the air? They played foxball?
That's up there with bicycle face
That
as far
is,
as
man.
offensiveness.
Beckett. I mean, animal lover to animal lover. How the fuck is that?
I would put their balls in a vice. You know, it's absolutely.
It was societally acceptable for, forever. It looked like.
That said, this is what I've always said. Whether it's 50 years from now or 500 years from now, in my opinion, human civilization will look back on what we do today and will have the same feeling.
Oh, they'll think we're barbarians.
Yeah,
yeah.
they'll have the same feeling.
Oh, yeah. No, they're going to play audio of me going, this motherfucker, he wanted to bring robots down. Can you believe him?
Yeah.
Robot hater.
I mean, they'll
Your
be.
son's going to be married to a robot, Beckett. Or your daughter.
I'm actually for it.
How do you think he got a son or a daughter?
Back to your fox question. People want to know, well, what did the fox say? I think the fox said, yeah, I don't think I said anything.
I mean, do they land on their feet like cats?
I don't think they do.
I mean,
Vicky.
it's
Yeah.
just.
But if that makes you feel better at night tonight,
Yeah,
they
I'm
land.
gonna pretend.
They're like cats, Vicky.
17th century.
Oh man.
Dude, they didn't care. They used to send hounds out just to eat foxes.
And if I feel like if the fox did land on its feet, they're like, now do it again till it doesn't.
You're absolutely correct.
Oh man.
They're crazy back then.
1700's cold, Beckett.
Oh, real cold.
Oh man.
Denny's, give us some more. You get a lot of people talking.
All right, so check this. The guillotine was invented to create equality in execution. So up until its advent and widespread use, the regular method of execution was pretty rough. I don't know. So I ended up reading this for you guys. There's a punishment called being hung, drawn, and quartered. And it was a pretty common practice. Pretty much, actually, so if you stole or you punched someone or you killed someone, they would do the same punishment to you no matter what. So, I mean, even if you did a horrific crime compared to just a regular crime, they would still do this. They hang you in the air, they disembowel you, and then they cut you into 4 pieces, and then they pike you in different spots around just as a warning to everyone else. So,
I mean, I think they probably got the message, man.
well, so then people started complaining. They go, well, we can't be doing that to every single person. Even if they do something lame, we can't be quartering them. So what they decided to do with women was just burn them. Women commit crimes, they get burned, and men get decapitated. So
Which one would you rather have, Vicky?
Oh, I'd rather be decapitated.
absolutely.
too.
Well, so
It's like
then
that.
around the 1839, people started going, these aren't fair. This is not. We can't be burning women and decapitating. It's completely different things, right? So they started complaining, and then they started actually thinking, this is not cool that we kill people in public. They started, kind of, I guess, evolving emotionally. So they invented the guillotine as an equal way to kill everyone. It's just It's quick. It just kills everyone the same way.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the night before you have to go to the guillotine? You're just chilling in some room thinking, fuck,
Oh my
I'm going to
gosh.
get my head chopped off in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you can't see. You're looking down. You just hear the noise, and then you know you have about a second.
And then I always heard, I don't know if it's real or not, but you can stay somewhat conscious for seconds after.
yeah.
You're thinking, oh, my head's fucking cut off.
Yeah.
This is fucking shit.
Yep. Well, the thing about the guillotine is you always come out ahead.
I don't.
Just let Beckett laugh.
That joke's not part of the factoid.
I know you got to save yourself now. Right?
You don't want to be.
He helped you with Edison, but now he's bringing you down on
That's
it.
good. I'm glad you did not take. Yeah, you don't want to be a part of that.
Those are two
Denny's.
separate.
Yeah, do not be a part of that. It's not good for this show or the KBB. What do you think, Vicky?
That's an A. I could definitely relate because I'm obsessed with
Cuban.
Henry VIII and all that kind of stuff. So, and the drawing and quartering were like people who were not upper level. So the
Yes.
upper level, they were,
get decapitated.
yeah. But
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of people that just they did not like. I would say 70% of the population was pretty mistreated back then.
But here's what I think. This is why I love your segment so much. There's so much shit out there in the world and in history that we don't know about. You never even heard about. There's so many fucked up stories. I mean,
the fox tossing.
I
I've lived
never-
my whole life without
Yeah.
knowing how horrific people were.
bicycle face, fox tossing. These are things I never ever knew about. Fuck Edison. Do not send me any emails about how dumb I am about not knowing about
No,
Edison.
I think
I'm kidding.
you're cool.
No, I'm just kidding. Ponton didn't know either. All right, nice. All
I
right.
didn't.
That
You did?
Oh, yeah.
The educator did not know.
Really? Okay. All right then. I like this. This is good shit. Yeah, the Edison stuff's crazy.
Yeah.
Because for a long time you were taught to think he's some fucking genius.
Yep.
He was awesome.
You're
right?
right.
American
Forever.
hero.
American
Forever.
hero, and you realize there's just a lot of American heroes in quotes that weren't such heroes.
Watch
Right.
The Prestige if you like. He's in that, portrayed by the late David Bowie.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man.
It is
Stealing
messed up.
ideas.
Dude, it's messed up. Yeah, he stole Tesla's ideas and claimed them as his own.
Yeah.
Those are some of the patents that were considered fraudulent.
Well, Vicky got called out earlier for the Ouija board, and I think you defended yourself great. That was awesome. Now I'm getting called out. Oh boy. Here's the title: Stop promoting Halloween and candy so much, Jaybird.
Stop having fun.
Jaybird, Jaybird, I love you. And by the way, I love when people started off with Jaybird, I love you and all.
But
I would rather you to tell me to go fuck my mother. Seriously. I do not love the I love you, but it's so annoying.
It's passive
But,
aggressive.
Jaybird, I love you, but you got to stop promoting candy so much on the air. I get you love Halloween, but the obesity problem in America is awful. I heard you say on the air that if someone gives out a toothbrush during trick-or-treating, they are a jerk. I don't think that's fair to say, and I wish you would think twice about some of the things you promote on the air. Obesity is a major problem, and Halloween time makes it worse. I'm not saying you can't celebrate Halloween, but reel it in. Please, just give it some thought. Thank you, Kimber.
so let's have her hand out the toothbrushes on Halloween and see what people do to her house.
I stand by my statement. If you give out a
Yeah,
toothbrush
it's
on
not-
Halloween,
That's
you're being,
not what Halloween's
you're
about.
being a dick
You're-
face.
You're intentionally doing the opposite of what the holiday.
Right.
You're throwing down your views. You're shitting in everyone's fruit punch is what you're doing because
you're
you want to
making
get
a-
your voice heard.
Yeah, you're making a statement.
Halloween ain't about you tonight.
Yeah. And that person that wrote that note, they
Her name's Kimber.
Kimber doesn't live their life perfect 365 days a week. They get the ice cream every once in a while at a restaurant. They indulge sexually or whatever. Like
What?
100%.
They get tantric.
Yeah, 100%.
Are you hashtag Me Too and Kimber?
I'm just saying, like, Halloween's once a year. It's one thing if we're like, sponsored by Reese's and we're saying, hey, we wake up every morning and have Reese's. But, I actually think psychologically, I think, Jaybird, you were alluding to this earlier, when you indulge every once in a while, it's actually psychologically and physiologically healthy.
Of course
Oh,
it
absolutely.
is. Of course.
Yeah, because if not, and I've done this when I've dieted, when I go on a health kick and I go like German strict, like, not eat anything bad, whatever, and then I binge.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a week, maybe it's 2 weeks, but then I binge. So if you plan a cheat day, then you actually, at least based on research and my experience, you do way better.
Yeah, the other thing too is I think sometimes, and I get why people think this because I put that out there. I always talk about fatty food and junk food because that's really what I enjoy. I don't enjoy talking about a salad. It's just not that fun to me. Do I eat salads? Yes. Do I eat healthy at times during the week? Of course I do. But it's not fun to talk about. I like to talk about candy. I don't want to talk about fucking the salad that I ate. I'd rather talk about the pierogi party that I had because I think that's just more fun to talk about. Salad, come on.
But I don't think the
Pierogies way more.
obesity problem has to do with people handing out Halloween candy. It has to do with parents not saying no to their children, watching their diet. I would say McDonald's is more responsible for the obesity problem than some Reese's.
I agree with you. But we don't really think about McDonald's just in case they're a client. Just kidding.
All fast food.
All
Yes.
fast food. No, I saw it so much in the baseball world when I would coach little kids. And as a witness, just as an outsider looking in, I don't think sometimes parents know what they're doing. There's a few times. There's one specific kid, he was very overweight. And I knew for a fact he didn't have to be this overweight. And his baseball ability was hindered because he was overweight. I mean, that was my professional opinion at the time. And I knew what the mother was feeding him. And I knew what she was doing. And I saw what was going on. And he was on a travel baseball team where he wasn't, the coaches were not playing. He wasn't starting. They said he was sluggish. He wasn't moving. He just wasn't where he needed to be. And the mom was confused about it. As she's giving him his second hot dog after his second Snickers bar within 15 minutes of my baseball lesson that I'm giving him for within an hour. Parents have to really fucking be the gatekeeper too at times.
100%.
It's not always just the kid's going through something. It's also too you're fucking throwing down candy and then you're not dealing with what's going on there. I know that sounds harsh.
No, this is not harsh at all.
Well, nobody wants to admit that because I don't think she was a bad person. I think she was giving her kid what she thought her kid needed.
Right. And as a parent, I've been lucky. My children don't have weight issues. But for me, it wasn't like I wasn't going to make my kid eat broccoli if they didn't like broccoli. But I also wasn't going to let my kid order a 30-piece nugget and sit down and consume the whole thing in 10 minutes.
Yeah, living in both worlds, I kind of find is the way to stay on the planet the longest and the happiest.
Yeah.
Yep.
You gotta live in both worlds. You can't be so fucking uptight where you're not doing anything fun. And you can't be so loosey goosey to where you're banging hookers on the reg.
Yeah, you
That's
just gotta
once
check.
every 5 years.
You just gotta check yourself every now and then.
You gotta check yourself before you.
Wreck yourself.
Exactly. No, go ahead, Dennis. I'm sorry.
No, basically we just summed up what I was gonna say in a catchy phrase.
Well, you were showing me some kind of obesity chart today.
yeah, I found so if you go to Reddit and you can search subreddits, there's one called Map Porn, which kind of maps out. It just has really cool data graphs and such. And man, somebody compiled every single graph from 1970 to 2021. I think 2022 is not done yet, or 2021 is not even done yet. It might be up to 2020. But if you watch the color graph, it's pretty interesting to see. It starts off in a blue tone, the whole map, and it's a percentage that are below obesity, then it's obesity, then it's above by 5%, 8%, 10%, so forth. It goes from like a blue to a red, but it starts off all the same color, and then you can just see the middle of America slowly turn redder and kind of spread out. But coastally it lags about 8 to 10 years later than it seemed about 8 or 10 years later it moved to the next color. So it kind of took longer, and maybe because coastally we're outside in the beautiful weather and it seems like that. But oddly, Colorado was the one state that never left the blue. It stayed and I've seen that it's
a very active state.
It's a very active state, and what's cool is when I moved there, I lived here in Florida, and we're at sea level, and they're at such a high altitude that just by moving there and being there, you lose weight because it takes more energy for your body to process the less amount of oxygen. Your body has to create new ventricles and such. And just by doing that, if you don't change anything about yourself, you will lose weight just by adjusting and acclimating to the altitude.
That's a pretty cool factoid. I think a lot of people don't know that.
Well, they do a lot of training out there because the athletes will train out there, and then they'll create thicker and better, circulatory system. And then when they go to a lower level area like Florida, they crush it. They're almost superhuman because they're used to breathing in less oxygen.
I love it.
So it is a good place to train. And
Our
stuff.
Olympic team trains there.
They have the Olympic Training Center right there at Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
Speaking of Colorado, who right now is listening is high. I know that the Weird and Whatever, I get a lot of emails going, man, I'm a stoner. I love listening to Weird and Whatever. You guys talking about some weird shit.
Didn't they just decriminalize it? We haven't brought that up. They just decriminalized federally any misdemeanor on marijuana, which all the analysis on Bloomberg and all that is like the biggest step towards legalization, decriminalization that has happened. Basically.
Yeah. So I've seen that it's in the motions. I haven't seen anything definitive yet, but if it's going through the motions, I think it is in the.
They did an executive pardon on anyone that has any charges as it relates on the federal level, not the state level.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yes, and then we're gonna see if it progresses to complete decriminalization.
And I know we don't talk of politics, and I'll keep it.
Oh, boy.
I'll keep it away from it.
I'm kidding.
Whatever party does that will get people that don't vote to come vote.
It's a hot topic for a lot of
definite,
people.
I thought the same thing.
It's so dumb. Like if you're a political strategist of either party, both parties partake.
Yeah.
Both parties partake, and no one said like, hey, we're going to do what 60, 70% of the population agrees with, and we're going to decriminalize this.
Yeah.
And you'll get people off the couch and they'll go vote.
Yeah, no, it's one of those kind of popcorn votes where it gets people, they get them charged up to the movie theater.
Absolutely.
So stupid.
Yeah,
I always thought that would be such a good move.
It's so stupid.
and I get it. If you don't smoke weed, I understand. And,
Absolutely.
And if you don't do anything, I get it. You don't understand it. But for the people who do enjoy that kind of culture and lifestyle, it's a big deal. And you will get people who are not involved in politics involved if you get pot involved. You just will.
Yeah.
And then they will, once they get the pot legal, they'll never get back in politics.
Yeah. Well, I had someone say this to me a long time ago. You get 100 politicians in a room, 2 rooms, and you give one of them a bunch of handles of alcohol. You give them another one marijuana. Which room are you going to have more problems in? Right?
We all know that. We all know that the only kind of fight that's going to go on at a stoner's party is the fight for the last slice of pizza. Alcohol, no. I love to drink. Don't get me wrong. I like to get turned.
Gets
but
rowdy.
Any bad thing that's ever happened to me in my life, you could point it to the alcohol. You know, I could never. And again, I'm not for overdoing anything because I think it is bad. I think you can overdo pot. You can overdo.
You can
eating.
overdo working out.
You can. Anything you can
Everything.
overdo to where it's not healthy. But yeah, I just, weed these days, it's gotten socially okay, and that's what the soccer mom's able to do it now.
Yeah.
If Vicky was to smoke up, she's not going to get talked down to like she would have 15 years ago. Imagine a
it's
teacher
changed.
smoking weed. People would have had an air of, oh my gosh, educator smoking weed. That wouldn't happen. I mean, you'd get some people that say that, but the attitude, I can tell by the way we talk about it on the air.
Yeah.
It's changed.
Yeah.
Oh, it has.
So my dad was with me on my 40th birthday, and as he got older, it's kind of like that movie Grumpier Old Men. He seems to get a little bit more OCD, a little bit more anal, a little bit more easily frustrated. And you drink, and I've seen him get a little aggressive in situations that he was frustrated at after a little Jack Daniels or something like that.
Oh, yeah. And it probably wasn't a little either.
So at my birthday, my buddy gave him an edible.
oh, wow.
I look down. My dad's hugging this random guy. They're having a good time. He's having a blast. And growing up, he was the conservative. Oh, like the devil's lettuce is bad, whatever. And now his paradigm has totally shifted. He's like, it's better for me and my wife. It's better for my anxiety. X, Y, and Z. NFL players are saying this is better than me taking prescription pills and getting hooked on opiates. And
When are we going to bust out a Wonder Joint and Vicky's going to get involved?
it's gonna
Because
happen.
it's legal.
I wonder. I mean, technically,
President just gave a pardon.
you could get it your car too. No, we're not trying to promote. We're not pushing
Boy,
it.
oh,
We're not pushing it.
still waiting for that next.
We're just the lighthouse here.
We're not. I mean, clearly we have an agenda here on this podcast.
I miss all of those after the show meetings that you guys have.
Oh, it's nothing. There's no meeting involved. It's a bunch of guys letting off some steam right before the weekend.
Yeah, there you go.
Just trying to have a little fun.
Yes.
Thursdays will always have a special place in my heart because my mom, when I was little, always would put that in my brain. I would get kind of as a kid, I'd get anxiety before school the night before, and I wouldn't be able to sleep. And I remember just Thursdays, my mom would go, relax, it's almost the weekend. It's kind of like the weekend anyway. You got one day to make it. You'll be able to make it. Yeah. And now I love Thursdays. I always think of that. It's kind of like a pre to my weekend.
Yeah, it's an underrated day on
It
the
is.
calendar.
I agree.
Because it's the almost weekend, and there's light at the end of the tunnel.
I fucking hate Tuesday. Tuesday's my least
Tuesday's
I
bad.
hate Tuesday too.
Because Monday, I'm already ready for the bullshit. I go,
know
all
where
right,
you have
I'm
to go
going
in.
into war on Monday. I've been to Oz. I know it's behind the curtain. It's fucked. Tuesday, I'm a little off my game because I've already gone through the Monday, and I'm not as sharp, Denny's. I'm not as ready for it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you're trying to get through that Tuesday,
Yes.
and then Wednesday, it's world record Wednesday.
Hump day.
Yeah, you're halfway there. Thursday is Friday Eve. Friday speaks for itself. The weekend, both those days speak for themselves. The only freaking day of the week that has no purpose is Tuesday.
Can we get 2 hashtags, please, tonight? Cancel. Hashtag cancel Thomas Edison. And hashtag fuck a Tuesday.
Fuck
Yes.
a Tuesday.
Fuck
Yes,
a Tuesday.
F it.
All right, I like this. Let's get a Joe Ponton over here. I asked a question on the internet, as they call it, Beckett, and they. My question was, who has an experience seeing a UFO where you really feel like it wasn't a plane, it wasn't a balloon, you thought it was out of this world? Now I know. Joe Ponton, you love to go on those beaches, and there's a lot of weird shit on the beaches. If you want to have a weird experience, go to a Florida beach between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. Am I wrong?
100%.
Yeah, I'm wrong?
100% correct.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No. I'm there 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes. It's pretty fucking weird then, too.
I can imagine it's not only weird, but criminal at that point.
Well, not for me.
No, not
But-
you. Not you.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of the odd weird. That's the more disturbing weird. Early morning weird is different. You know, you have your beach fuckers and those kind of people, but it's more the start of weird.
We just get so many comments and emails about creepy dudes lurking with either binoculars or a camera, filming girls or just lurking and being creepy at the beach. And of course, if you were a perv, why would you not go there? All you have to say is, I'm filming that manatee. What the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Well, nowadays you have OnlyFans. Why go to the beach?
It's not. See, that's why I know you're not a true pervert, because OnlyFans is not going to get a real creepo off. That's basically. That's the fake blood and true blood that show. They have to test the waters of danger. They got to get up close and personal. That really is what the creepy people will do.
Interesting.
There's a lot of the weirdos there.
Well, I've dated girls that like the idea of getting caught, you know? And
Yeah, but that's different.
I was like, listen, I'm an open-minded guy, and I'm open for all of this, but I don't like the idea of getting caught, you know? But there's a mental rush for them for whatever reason of getting caught. So whether we did it in the bedroom or the shower or out by the beach. Did I just take this over?
How did this turn into a Beckett fuck session? What?
Are you
I was
in the
getting ready-
metaverse again tonight?
I was just getting ready.
So
for
are
it.
you saying you did see a UFO?
Seen some weird shit out there, Bird. Have a good night.
I like the fucking. My girl likes the fucking public. I don't.
Fair enough. All right, let's go back to UFOs.
No, I want to hear more about Beckett not wanting to fucking public.
It's weird. It gives me stress.
No, I hear you. I don't think it's. You like to bang.
I don't have a problem with it.
You like to do a little beach fucking yourself.
Maybe I've been known to.
You like to hide.
He's there early.
You like to hide in the
No,
bushes
not
while you're
lately.
hiding in the bushes.
Well, not lately.
I hear you.
But I've.
Yeah, we all right, so UFOs here.
Yeah,
Let's
UFOs.
get Let's get back on
Seen some weird
track
stuff on the
here.
beach.
You have said you've seen some. You're always sending me shit, crazy stuff in the sky. Have you seen something where you think is not of this earth, or reverse engineered, possibly?
Stuff that I don't recognize and stuff that I don't think regular people recognize. Yeah, we see that all the time. And I'm not there by myself most mornings. I show up with a lot of the people. They're dog people. My friend Amy, she shows up there every now and again. She was actually with me when I found the dead guy. We saw something that out of nowhere appeared and out of nowhere disappeared. We also had dog walker Cindy, whose little dog Sophie's out there with us as well. There was like 4 of us that went, what the fuck was that? Because stuff is there and then stuff is gone. And you can also see cloud formations and stuff. So you can see where you actually have clearing where just stuff's no longer there.
My dad and my brother Ted have a story where, and my dad worked on planes, so he's got some knowledge in that world. Military planes. So he does. He lived in that world. They were chilling in Lake Park back in the 80s, and they saw this thing kind of floating over the water, and then it just stops. And it was pretty big. Stops, kind of hovers, and then darted straight out of the atmosphere. There's not a lot of things that can do that where you can stop on a dime, hover there for a second, and then shoot up. It was floating as if it was an aircraft. Stops, boom. I don't know if you guys got that. It stopped and then it shot. Did I say that enough?
That's like the one I saw in 81 with my mom. It literally was there 1 minute and we closed our eyes, we blinked, and it was gone. And it was the size of a blimp, but there's no way that it was a blimp.
And the way I kind of view it these days in my old age, I think there's sometimes you do see things that are not of this earth, and I think there's times where there is that reverse engineering. I'm just hearing too much about reverse engineering with our military, where they found some shit. They go, what the fuck is this? Let's get our best brains on this. Let's figure it out. And that's why you may see something these days that look like a fucking shit from Star Wars.
There's also drones. The police have drones that fly out there all the time as well. So you see
drone,
stuff like that. It's
drone,
just weird.
A drone's not. I think you're gonna know a drone.
Some of these are far the hell away, and they just appear out of nowhere. I mean, I've seen with you guys. I've seen the ISS fly over, and I mean that's flying. It's hauling ass, and out of our solar system. Or out of our.
But you're not gonna.
atmosphere.
You won't see that. What I'm saying is, if you were at the beach and you saw a drone, even if you didn't see it at a close distance, you could rationalize going, it could have been a drone, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about stuff that stops on a dime and then jets out of the atmosphere.
Yeah, there's a lot
drone
of
ain't
stuff that
gonna
you
do
can
that.
rationalize.
Yeah.
And I think we all do that
Yeah.
already, because I don't think any of us are looking to say, oh, well, look what I just found. It's another UFO.
Joe Ponton, do you believe in aliens? Do they exist? Have they visited Earth?
Absolutely.
You do think they've visited Earth?
Absolutely. How can we be so arrogant as to think that we're the only species?
I'm not saying that. Two
different questions.
Yeah, the two different
Yes,
questions.
I believe in aliens. I believe they visited the planet.
And do you think they're still actively here visiting?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, very good, Joe Ponton. The man on the street, the man on the beach. You got to find us another dead body, brother.
I'm looking.
I know.
Always explore. That's the one thing I don't tell anybody, but you know what? A lot of people have their heads buried in the sand. You just keep looking around. Explore. You're going to see shit. Everybody wants to fucking see what's going on.
Well,
Everyone wants to question, but nobody wants to look.
Sometimes you just got to open your eyes.
Well, it goes back to the autopilot. You can be on autopilot and not notice even the most basic of shit.
100%.
You're right. Self-awareness is important, but I think it takes practice. It really does. Meditation's good, but people do not. People love to say, I cannot meditate back it. I just can't. Well, no shit. I can't run 10 miles right now either because I haven't tried to run 10 miles.
Yeah,
you got to practice.
You bring up meditation a lot, and I believe in it. And there's that guy that had a panic attack. He was on national news.
Yes.
And he wrote a book called 10% Better. And he said, listen, I'm not saying that you meditate and your life's changing.
Absolutely.
He goes, but it made my life 10% better. And if I could give you a pill, if I could give you a life lesson and whatever, and I could tell you that it improved your life by 10%, you'd pay me all the money in your bank account.
Yeah.
And he goes, meditation made my life 10% better.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, especially in modern day, we want I meditated for 10 minutes, now I'm cured, and I can fucking feel blissful, and nothing on this planet's going to work.
Instant
like
gratification.
That. I mean, whiskey or a drug, yeah, I get that. That'll make you feel better in the moment, but there's not really a fix. And when it comes to something like a meditation, the reason why I speak about it a lot is because I am a person that does believe in it, and I struggle doing it, and I know I should be doing it because I've seen it work wonders. All it does is make me not. What it does is it makes you a less of a dick. And don't we all want to be less of a dick
100%.
to your fellow person?
Yeah.
It makes you a little bit sharper and makes you stop for a second and go, don't say that. Just let it fucking roll off your back. It doesn't matter. And when I don't meditate, it's the opposite. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah, no, it actually, what I mean by saying you bring it up a lot is it makes me want to try it more because you're an opinion that I value. And you know, I think knowing your personality, I guess maybe I could make a case that you wouldn't be in a meditation or you would be in meditation. But the fact that you believe that it's improved your life so much, when I hear you talk about it, makes me want to try it more.
I really do believe in it. And I also understand why people don't want to do it. I mean, I get why people don't want to floss their teeth. It's fucking annoying. For me, I always got to put music on and make my bathroom a whole vibe for me to floss my teeth because it's just a tedious fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And if I don't have music on, I'm thinking about some crazy weird shit, man.
I do it in the shower. I do it in the shower. I brush my teeth in my shower. I shave in the shower. I'm kind of like Kramer in the Seinfeld episode where he does everything in the shower, right? Because it becomes part of my routine. And then I feel better about it. When I get out of the shower, I'm like, all right, I'm putting my deodorant on and I'm going to work, you know? And
Vicky, what not to cut you, I didn't mean to cut you off. What are your thoughts on meditation? Do you think that's something you believe in, or is it something you never even fucked with?
I actually do a form of it when I am on an investigation and I'm trying to get in tune with everything. I try to quiet everything down, try to take myself out of the equation and let spirit come in. It's a form of meditation.
I'm glad you said that because I think everybody always gets caught up on the definition and it's got to be A, B, and C. Like you're talking about, it's either this or that. You've spoken many times, Denny's. You have your own form of meditation that works for you. And I think that is, everyone's got to find whatever brings them to their Zen spot. It's going to be different for me than it is for a Denny's.
I would just say calm the mind for 10 minutes. Just set a iPhone alarm for 10 minutes.
And what do you
try not to think of anything?
How does a Denny's calm his mind? Other than the weed.
I mean,
do you do weed before meditation or no? Do you go straight up sober?
It depends. You try to do it sober.
I would agree with
but
that.
Sometimes it doesn't line up that way.
I would agree with that as well.
But I just try not to think of anything for 10 minutes.
Okay.
And some days you succeed and some days you don't. You know, and if you succeed, I feel it helps. And if you don't, it helps because you're practicing getting better at it.
And I love that because I think that also helps with the being in the now. But
no
there's
pressure either. If
there's
you don't
also
succeed, it's just move on.
Walking meditations. There's purposeful meditations. There's guided meditations. There's so much out there that what Denny's does, I don't know if I would do. And if what Beckett does, I wouldn't do that either. And there's also a thing you can do with visualizing and meditating.
Yeah.
Let's say you have a coworker that's really bringing out the worst in you and you don't like how you are handling yourself. You go back home and go, man, I wish I wouldn't have said that, or I wish I wouldn't have done it that way. At least meditation and visualizing that situation purposefully, you know, really thinking about that. Now you're able to go in there. You've already been to that dance in your head. You've already seen that script. You've already seen that scene. You can go into that a little bit more prepared so your spirit doesn't feel low after that moment happens.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I think to your point, I think people don't approach meditation the same way they approach other things. And what I mean by that is if you couldn't play the piano the first time you took a lesson and you just quit, or the second time you took a lesson, then you just be like, all right, I'm not going to learn the piano.
That's my point. That's
you
my
have
point.
To, you have to go in and know that. So I think people, when they meditate for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, just like you're taking your first, second, third, and fourth, and fifth piano lesson, you have to understand that there's a learning curve to it. And I think that people download a app like Headspace and they go into it and they're like, oh yeah, it didn't move the needle in my life. 3 attempts and I'm done. Right?
Yeah.
And you got to have the patience before you make an opinion.
And I like what Denny said too about quieting the mind. When you do sit still, you're calm, you're peaceful and serene. You sometimes tend to think of things that you never would, and then you go, man, I might have handled that the wrong way.
Yeah.
Or I might have done that the right way, and let me continue to do that. It kind of just quiets down the noise, and I think humans need that. We are so, especially here in the West, America is so distracted. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm not saying it's a good thing either. I just think you need to consciously try to quiet your mind.
100%.
Be still.
That's all you need.
A little bit.
100%.
I like it. Good stuff.
Just
Good
set an
round table.
alarm. Do it. Just pick a day and do it whenever you get home.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have to think about humans evolved over millions of years, and the twofold, threefold, fourfold, fivefold effect that technology and acceleration and velocity that's happened on Earth is that we used to have time to think.
Yeah, we did. It sped up a lot from the 80s onward.
And whether it's my phone ringing or my Apple Watch ringing or friends calling me or people showing up to my door, you lose that. And I think your brain, when you take I think it's even more important today. And I brought this up on another podcast. But one of the quotes that annoys me so much about meditation, because I know it to be true, the people that have the toughest time meditating are the ones that stand to benefit it from the most.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I would agree with that because they're all twisted up inside.
Yep.
They're fucking just mentally
100%.
Yeah, if you're seeking out meditation, you kind of know that you're twisted up like a pretzel. You're not seeking out meditation.
It's a telltale sign.
Yeah, you're not seeking out just that kind of shit if you're all fucking peaceful and blissful. At least over here in the West, you're not.
Yeah.
I think in other cultures, meditation is brought into your life,
Part of your
as a
life.
child. Yeah, which I am so for. I'd rather have a kid meditate for 10 minutes mixed in with his fucking Fortnite and iPhone and all that shit. It all depends on what you want to accomplish as a species. Yes, technology makes things quicker. It makes it more efficient. You can communicate greater than ever. And we are very connected to the computer, and we are very connected to technology. And if that's what we want as a species, I think we're nailing it. I think we are disconnected from spiritualism, being spiritually connected to their fellow neighbor, their loved ones. And it all just depends on what are we trying to accomplish? Are we trying to grow together more a little bit as a species? Is that the right answer? Or are we trying to fucking get our pizza here a little bit quicker and make sure we can go on Amazon and have our kids be on social media talking all the time? I'm not saying one's right. I'm not saying one's wrong. I know that what I like, because I grew up in the time where connecting with people was the right thing to do. That's what I know.
Yeah.
Now, if I grew up in a technology time, would I have the same perspective? I just don't know.
Yeah. Well, to your earlier point, you brought up reverse engineering. I'm actually a big fan of reverse engineering, but only if it's used appropriately. And what I mean by that is, where are we going? Where do you want to go? You know, when you set goals, you're saying, hey, this is where I want to end up on my income with work or whatever. You have to make a decision where we go. And I've been involved in startups and business, and some that have failed were a solution looking for a problem. The most successful businesses I've been involved in were a problem that we came up with a solution for, right? So sure, it's great to come up with this idea and it's candy, it's ice cream for society and whatever, but you have to make a decision both personally and as a society. Where do you want to end up? What are we going for? And I know that sounds overly simplistic, but I don't think when we invent things and we come up with tech, even though I'm the tech guy, we don't think about, well, what's our end goal? What's our end goal? You know, China has a 5-year goal, a 10-year goal, a 100-year goal, whatever. I feel like in the United States, we're always like, oh, well, what fixes this problem that we've caused? What fixes this problem that we're caused? I think it's an unhealthy way. I think you need a lighthouse or a North Star, so to speak. And you need to be like, hey, we're going to work towards this because this is our end goal. I think we just try to improve things without thinking about where we're going.
I would agree.
Vicky, that's a good note, Denny's. I like that.
Tagged on there.
You want to tag anything else on there? I
said
feel like me and Beckett started dominating the conversation. I apologize.
You guys surmised everything. I think.
Vicky, any final thought?
I've been meditating this whole time.
Practicing already.
I'm good.
I like it.
I like the quips.
Come on, Vicky, do a shot with us. Come on, Vicky. Smoke this joint.
Take these pills.
All right, well, we got.
I'm kidding.
That was pretty deep, and I love the deep shit. Let's we're gonna end. I know we're going long tonight. I apologize. I know you, Vicky, you gotta get the fuck out of here, right?
You know me.
I know.
Maybe not tonight.
Let's do God, we have so much to cover still. We'll do some Would You Rather. You guys want to do some Would You Rather?
Let's do it.
All right.
love
Would you rather watch your closest friends get eaten alive by a pack of witches, or watch your parents have sex twice a day for the rest of your life? If your parents are no longer alive, you have to watch them zombie fuck. All right. Let it marinate.
What was the first choice?
Yeah, there's a lot to
I
process
forgot.
here.
Watch your closest friends get eaten alive by a pack of witches. So you'd have to see me, Beckett, Denny's.
Now you know you're gonna get witches hate mail off of this one.
Good, I want it.
I'm going with the witches.
You could watch that, huh?
Yeah.
We-
Why not?
You know we die, right?
Okay.
Damn. Then Vicky gets her own podcast.
Just saying, it all works out.
Damn, that's fucked. That's cold. Beckett, what do you do?
Mm,
They're watching Sweet Denny's getting fucking tore up by witches. Beckett.
I go with the parent sex because I think it's more selfless. I think I love my friends. That's why they're my close friends. So I'm going to take it on the chin and go with parents having sex.
Okay, twice a day. That's the scenario.
I
Denny's.
hear ya.
And
I'll
if they
fuck.
are,
And I probably helped their relationship, by the way, as a result.
your parents are alive, so you escape the whole zombie bullet.
Yeah. I would pick that one.
I definitely pick that one. I can't have my friend.
What,
I can't watch Vicky fucking eaten
torment.
by a witch.
I would
Look-
totally reassess my friendship if you decided that you were going to opt for us getting eaten over your parents having sex.
It's not real.
Everything's real, Vicky. Everything's real. Nothing's real.
There's no loophole.
I'm not
No
getting the hate
loophole.
mail from the witches.
I will tell you what is real. 9.5 feet of pure badass werewolf.
Oh yeah, I don't know if everyone's seen the videos yet.
We're gonna, before you leave, Vicky, I do got to get you involved in a werewolf.
Does
video.
that? I showed up during day. Does that have a light effect?
Oh yeah.
Becca, just wait till the podcast
Okay.
is over. It's,
Okay,
it's gonna
okay.
blow your dick. In the ground. Would you rather always have the Oh, did you answer, Denny? Yeah, you answered. Right? Yeah.
I did.
Always have the feeling of a severe panic attack. The worst. You always have that 24/7.
Terrible.
The worst panic attack you could have, or always have the worst case of severe poopy cramps.
Oh gosh.
I mean, the worst, Denny's.
To what you can't get anything done.
It's just the PCs are so bad. You don't actually go. It's on the verge. 24 hours.
Oh, that's
the worst.
horrible.
Can I take Xanax?
No, there's no loopholes. In fact, all drugs are now excommunicated. Can't get
Even
them.
weed?
There's no loophole here. Yeah,
Damn this stuff.
Vicky?
I'm gonna go with the anxiety
Me
panic
too.
attacks.
Oh,
Really?
I'm going to sit on the throne.
Well, because I feel like the poopy cramps will give me anxiety because of how awful they are.
I think you become immune to it after a while.
Yeah.
Or do you?
Is your stomach just making so much noise constantly?
No, it doesn't make noise. You just are in poopy cramp discomfort pretty much
I hear
24/7.
you, that's terrible.
Maybe every 10 once a day for 10 mins you get a little
No.
Can you meditate?
I mean, good luck meditating like that. That's rough. So you're taking
Anxiety.
I'm taking
Take the poops with me.
I'm taking the poopy cramps.
Yeah, there we go.
You guys could
Guys,
do
that would suck though, man. That would be really rough.
Yeah.
All right.
Way better.
Ponton, poopy cramps? Yeah, poopy
Yeah,
All right,
poopy
I get
cramps.
it. Chat room, let me know. Poopy cramps or severe anxiety attack. I'm quite interested. And then, would you rather watch a werewolf on OnlyFans or vampires on OnlyFans?
Vampires.
We're talking about a werewolf, just a fuck fest, and then vampires just doing what vampires do.
I'm not into bestiality, so I'm going human.
Yeah, the vampires, they're seductive and
Vampires?
sexy.
They kind of be hot.
The vampires.
Are you from Canada? The vampires. Who said that a dude?
Yeah, I'd pick vampires. They're going to be doing all sorts of sexy stuff.
Vicky?
Vampires.
Yeah,
What do you think-
werewolves.
Vampires are hot.
What do you think I'm picking?
You got to be picking wolf,
Well,
right?
I hope you're picking it.
Werewolves. Oh, dude, watching them change from human into a wolf.
And then get carnal.
Oh my god.
But then it's only doggy style for the rest of your
No,
life.
it's not. You've never seen a dog.
With a werewolf?
Werewolves can do mish. Werewolves can absolutely do mish. They can do 69 too.
Yeah, and Bram Stoker's Dracula. I think that he's.
There's a
doing-
69 werewolf scene.
I don't
yeah.
know if he's
This
69.
isn't Twilight. You know, this is like some dirty
He's
dog,
Definitely Mish though.
I
some
cannot
dirty
believe-
wolf.
That movie, The Howling, it has some pretty good werewolf sex scenes.
Vicky, I love the fuck with the D from E.T. I love that movie. If you're looking for an old 80s movie that's kind of creepy and cheesy and bizarre and weird. The Howling.
Yep.
Put it on your list. It's
And
fucking
it's
weird, man.
Pretty good effects for
It
the time
is.
period.
I agree.
I'm
it has
surprised
wolf-
you're going werewolf.
It has wolf lovemaking.
Have you seen my front yard?
I have seen you.
surprised.
You're
It's
surprised?
one thing to put something in your front yard. It's another thing to agree to
I
have
can
sex
almost-
with it for the rest of your life.
Does Beckett even Jaybird? I do want to really quick. I know Vicky's itching to get out of here. Give me 3 minutes, Vicky, or 5. But realistically 10. Last week I kind of
Make it 15.
I rushed a little bit. We got a lot of good feedback from Sleeping Dogs, our local musician or songwriters. One of my favorite segments. I love doing the local songwriter. If you are a local songwriter here, send me your shit, Jason Pennington KVJ at my Gmail, or you can send it at my Instagram.
This was the song.
Yes, this was Sleeping Dogs, and the song was called Sleeping Dogs. I believe the writer was Jeannie Burke, and got a lot of good feedback on that. Go ahead, yeah, Denny's, pump it up.
Love the background play.
I creeped it in.
Love it.
Yeah, she told me it's the first song. It's called Sleeping Dogs, I guess, on their album. And the song, they named it after their band. It's about cutting loose those that enjoy digging up problems of the past instead of moving forward to happiness. I thought that was kind of cool because that's the first person that wrote me a little synopsis about the song.
Oh, I like
Like a
that.
storyteller. And if you want to do that, I want to highlight, this is your time to get your little fucking accolades.
I think it's great, and I actually think we should add that because I'm going to date myself, but pop-up video, because I'm a curious guy,
Pop-up video.
was one of my favorite things because, you know, I'm not a very artistic guy, but when I got to listen or see, I should say, what the artist was intending and the way they put this in the video and the reason they did this, I was like, wow, I have a little bit of a different perspective on the song.
Yeah, no, it's a very
I
cool
used to
thing.
love pop-up video.
I like hearing people talk about something that they created. I mean, when you create something, especially a song, whether you like it or not, it's something out of thin air that didn't exist, that came out of your brain. It's original, and I fucking get off on that. I love it.
It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, and I probably told you this, guys, off the podcast. If I had a genie in the bottle, and they're like, what superpower do you want? Have all the money in the world, be able to fly, have lasers out of your eye. I would say sing.
Yeah.
Sing is one of my favorite things. It's, you know, other than a chef, it's the first profession that happened in human society. Singing and music. And music moves everyone. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, Indian, Republican, Democrat, you know, United States, whatever. It's amazing.
It's universal,
Quite
baby.
making me want to smoke, bro.
I think we got to play Whitney Houston after this. That's what friends are for. Beckett's ready to get fucking turned. I do want to, before we listen to our new artist, I want to thank everybody for being a part of the Weird and Whatever podcast. We love doing it. It's Halloween time. It's creepy season. So this is right up our alley. Thank you guys for enjoying and not enjoying, but joining us, I should say. I don't know if you enjoyed it or not. you might have thought it fucking sucked. Yeah. Our artist this week, her name is Summer Gill. She's a local songwriter, and her song is Heartbeats. Denny's, if you don't mind, play us out. Thank you guys. We love you all. Bigfoot is
Baby,
real.
real.
I'm afraid of heartbeats, not the rhythm, it's the rest. 'Cause it sounds just like a ticking clock, but it's beating out your chest. But I'm not scared of yours, I just crave your evermore. Yeah, I oh, and I wanna know every part.
Sorry, y'all. There was a glitch, I think, in the audio file that was sent to us, right,
It's
Denny's?
a video. I do apologize. It won't go past that spot. I do apologize.
We apologize to the artist, but her name was, I feel bad. Her name, let me just get my notes again. This is not the best radio right here.
I don't know.
You know, this is so smooth. I don't get why we don't have a sponsor, Denny's. Summer Gill, her name's Heartbeats. It is on YouTube, so go ahead and find Summer Gill. Summer, if you are listening, I apologize. There is some kind of defect in your file. I'm not trying to file shame either. Yeah, it's YouTube. It's not you, Summer. It's us. It's not you.
It's us.
But Summer Gill, so sorry for that, y'all. Thank you for your patience, even though I'm sure there's no patience. We love you all. Bigfoot is real. Fuck.